let's consider Descartes' second rationale for systematic doubt. So we're still looking at the first meditations, no, here, and we are actually going a little bit deeper already, and we will begin with this paragraph here that you see in front of you. Descartes does not accept the first rationale, especially for doubting his perceptions, but turns from it to another possibility, which he also criticizes. All told, Descartes considers 4 reasons for doubting the veridicality of perceptions, rejecting all but the last. The second rationale for maximum doubt, Descartes expresses in these terms concerning the indistinguishability of waking perceptions from the contents of very vivid dreams. Descartes asks of any perception we might have, for example, right here and now, how do we know that we are not dreaming? If we do not, or perhaps cannot know that we are having a waking perception rather than dreaming, then we can have no solid reason to judge of any perception whether it reveals the true nature of things or, like dream images, is only a creation of fantasy and digestion. Let's read this paragraph. This is all very well to be sure. This is all very well to be sure. But am I not a human being and therefore in the habit of sleeping at night, when in my dreams I have all the same experiences as these madmen do when they are awake, or sometimes even stranger ones? How often my sleep at night has convinced me of all these familiar things, that I was here, wrapped in my gown, sitting by the fire, when in fact I was lying naked under the bedclothes. All the same, I am now perceiving this paper with eyes that are certainly awake. The head I am nodding is not drowsy. I stretch out my hand and feel it knowingly and deliberately. A sleeper would not have these experiences so distinctly. But have I then forgotten those other occasions on which I have been deceived by similar thoughts in my dreams? When I think this over more carefully, I see so clearly that waking can never be distinguished from sleep by any conclusive indications that I am stupefied, and this very stupor comes close to persuading me that I am asleep after all. Descartes tries to infect the reader with the same uneasiness of doubt about the reality of our perceptions. If we cannot prove with epistemic certainty that we are not at this moment merely dreaming rather than perceiving an external world, then how can we be justified in knowing any of the things we believe ourselves to know? And that's interesting, right? Uh, how sure are you that in fact uh, you're not sleeping? That's the question. How sure are you that we are not in fact sleeping? I'm looking for the quote, sorry. Uh, and so we read, beginning from here. But that arithmetic, geometry, and other disciplines of the same kind, we can begin from the start. From all these, perhaps, we may safely conclude that physics, astronomy, medicine, and all other disciplines which involve the study of composite things are indeed doubtful. But that arithmetic, geometry, and other disciplines of the same kind, which deal only with the very simplest and most general things and care little whether they exist in nature or not, contain something certain and indubitable. For whether I am waking or sleeping, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and a square has no more than 4 sides. Nor does it seem possible that such obvious truths could be affected by any suspicion that they are false. Interestingly, although Descartes ultimately wants to make perceptual knowledge as epistemically certain as the demonstrations of mathematics, he complains that the second rationale for maximum skepticism is not powerful enough to set aside beliefs in basic mathematical truths. He claims that the belief that 2 plus 2 is equivalent to 4 can be just as indubitable whether we consider the proposition when we are wide awake or in a dream. The possibility that he might be dreaming when he thinks he's awake as a result is therefore not a powerful enough wrecking ball to knock down all of his previous beliefs. If he now insists that it must also demolish even his beliefs in the simplest propositions of mathematics. How else, we must ask, could we ever justify extending the epistemic certainty of mathematics to all natural science and philosophy if we do not at all reconsider the epistemic status of mathematical truths? Descartes raises the stakes significantly in this part on his effort to impose maximum skepticism limitations on all of his previous knowledge. Descartes had not previously included extra perceptual basic beliefs about arithmetic and geometry as targets for maximum skepticism along with perceptual beliefs. Arithmetic and geometry are only mentioned when Descartes rejects the possibility of dreaming as grounds for maximum skepticism on the complaint that it is not enough to cast doubt on our belief in their truth. It is not strange to find Descartes arguing that mathematical beliefs can be just as justified in or out of dreams, but it is intriguing to learn for the first time that he proposes also to investigate the epistemic status of mathematics. If mathematical truths are derived entirely from reason, ultimately from the definitions of mathematical concepts, then they are not justified by perception in the first place and can only have their epistemic credentials verified if we can prove their dependence on something that is epistemically incapable of doubt. Descartes needs a basis for doubt that is so powerful as to overshadow the absolute maximum of everything he previously regarded as knowledge, including his beliefs in many ordinary things. Does Descartes too quickly reject the possibility that he is dreaming when he believes himself to be perceiving the world? The fact, if it is a fact, that we do not always doubt the truths of mathematics in the dreams we happen to remember does not by itself show that we can never doubt such beliefs when we are dreaming, nor that we can always rightly judge whether or not we are dreaming when we believe during the course of a dream that we are veridically perceiving a real world beyond the dream. Descartes' argument that we do not always doubt the truths of mathematics when we are dreaming appears to be an inadequate reason for dismissing the possibility of dreaming as a basis for general skepticism about the truth of perceptions. To uphold his criticism, Descartes would need to know, with epistemic certainty, when he is dreaming about the propositions of mathematics and when he is not dreaming, but considering them in waking, self-conscious life, in order to know with epistemic certainty whether or not we ever mistakenly dream mathematical falsehood and whether we might not be doing so now. Descartes identifies the foundations of all belief that he hopes to upset as involving the fact that all such beliefs are based on perception. The possibility of not doubting mathematical truths when we are dreaming, as a result, at first seems irrelevant to Descartes' effort to find the reason for universally doubting all his prior perceptual beliefs, and we are not surprised to find, without warning, that he now wants to include extra perceptual mathematical beliefs along with perceptual beliefs in the limbo of maximum doubt. Descartes cannot simply assume the epistemic certainty of mathematics as a standard for the rest of philosophy and science. He must rather try to demonstrate in terms of reason alone that mathematics too can withstand the full onslaught of the strongest possible argument for doubt. He's surely right to conclude that no one reflecting on the kinds of simple mathematical truths he mentioned would be dissuaded from their beliefs by the possibility that they are dreaming. If extra perceptual mathematical beliefs are to be included along with perceptual beliefs in the reach of maximum skepticism, then he is also right that we must go beyond the dreaming rationale and try to find a more powerful reason for doubting mathematics as well as the truthfulness of perceptions. In short, simply claiming that mathematics is a good way of justifying that we are not dreaming is not a good way to actually awaken us from the fact that maybe, just maybe, we are in fact dreaming. If that is clear, please click next in the section below. If not, please listen to the video again. Thank you.